Hey, baby. Hmm? Oh, no, I'm just reading through what I've recently collected on my little journey. Yeah, I didn't go too far out this time, just enough to find a few spells. Yeah, they're not necessarily spells, just more of maybe some books. I haven't read through them yet, so I don't know exactly what they are. I just found them in some chests, and I wanted to go through them. I mean, if you want, you can sit and listen to me read through them. Might bore you, though. You already know most of my spells are boring anyway. Well, you're the one who got with, someone who doesn't believe in using magic like that. It's easier for me to just use magic practically. I mean, it makes more sense. I mean, my mistress, when she taught me and she took me under her wing, she made me realize that magic isn't all defensive magic, offensive magic. It's more about what you can use, because you're not going to be fighting goblins, demons, or whatever every single day. I mean, unless you really want to die, unless you really got a death wish, because at that point you're just going to wear out your mana and you're just going to kind of kill over. But, they are very good and very practical uses for magic, so yeah. And she taught me this ideology, so I stuck with it, as it has worked many times in the past, and many times in the present, and gonna work many times in the future. Yeah. Do you just wanna listen to it? Okay. Yeah, just give me 1 sec. Let me see which one. The thick ones are always... They always give these long instructions that I don't feel like reading. However, a lot of them do have a lot of quote-unquote useless spells, but they're mostly good. Like there was this one that I did find that possessed a food restoration spell. The only problem was that it won't prevent, like it from molding. It won't prevent deterioration, but if it's already deteriorated, I can restore it. The only thing is, I'd prefer a spell that would slow down or maybe even stop deterioration, but I haven't found one like that. So I'm still, waiting on that. But in the meantime, do you want to read some with me? I mean, I could read a few to you, maybe 2 or 3, because I don't feel like boring you. There are a good amount of instructions, steps, and procedures within these, considering I'm glancing through them right now. But I could read you 2 that caught my eye. Yes, I kind of just skimmed over and read the first part of the name. But would you mind, just staying and listening to a couple or a few? Oh, thank you, baby. Okay, here. Now, let's see here. This one looks interesting. Let's see here. Preservation of food, commonly misused to delay microbial decay and structural collapse and prepare to raw food items beyond socially acceptable limits. The spell does not restore freshness, it only prevents further deterioration. Would you look at that? This is exactly what I've been looking for. If the food is already unsafe, this spell will preserve it in that state. Oh, well that... Okay, well, I guess I can't really argue with that. Let's see. Applicable items: cooked grains, stews, meats, none cured. What? Bread. Limited success on bread? That makes no sense. Dairy. Disencouraged to use on dairy. Well, that's just kind of unfair. Do not use on fish older than 1 day. Eggs with a cracked shell. And anything already smelling sweet. I don't think... What? Okay. And how do I do this spell? Salt, a cooling surface, sigil deferred decay, a minute. Candles will enhance success. however, guarantee an explosion. An explosion. What? See, this is why I don't just grab random books anymore, because they possess the most weirdest spells. Let me read the procedure. Place the food on the cooling surface. Don't elevate it. Sprinkle salt in a non-uniform pattern. Uniformity encourages crystallization in undesirable areas. Draw the sigil of deferred decay using chalk, charcoal, or salt residue. The sigil must touch the food container, but not the food itself, so it needs a container, okay. Place one hand near the food and acknowledge mentally that this is probably still fine. Is this a spell or just brainwashing yourself? Okay. Spoken acknowledgement increases failure rates. Well, yeah, because you're not going to believe it your damn self. Okay, wait a minute. Remove the sigil after completion. Leaving it in place causes gradual flavor flattening. What are these side effects? Expected results. Edibility extended by 2 to 4 days. Oh, that's better than nothing, I suppose. Not the permanent I was looking for, but it's a step closer, which is what really helps me. I need it closer to that. No increase in nutritional value. Slight dulling of flavor within 24 hours. Great, so I'm basically making us eat paper. Texture degradation, likely after 2 days. That's... okay. The smell will be unchanged and feel wrong. So basically, I'm just making it safe to eat rotten food rather than to actually make the rotten food back into normal food. As I said, it's a step closer. This seems more like a survival spell rather than a spell that can prevent it entirely. Failure modes. Let's see. If a sour smell appears, stop. You failed. If the food becomes rubbery, you failed. If it looks perfect for over a week, then you failed. Which, oh my, okay, so that doesn't make sense. Let's see, the other spells. Oh, here we go. Minor memory dulling. Let's see. The purpose is to reduce emotional intensity attached to specific memories without removing factual content. So the dulling in the brain is mainly towards the emotional part of it. That's interesting. Okay, this spell is used for functionality, not healing. So would it be able to heal traumatic events? No, but as it said, it would just remove the emotion attached to it rather than the factual knowledge of it. Okay, let's see. It can only work on recent memories within 3 years, but it can reduce the shame, anger, embarrassment, trauma, pain, and so on and so forth. However, it cannot remove guilt, and it obviously does not prevent learning, considering it does keep the factual idea that the event happened intact. That's, if anything, I think that's better. Let's see, this memory will probably feel distant, unimportant, or mildly irritating. So I guess it will kind of turn into like a cringe memory. Let's see. Acquired components, a reflective surface. That could be a mirror, polished metal, still water. A written description of the memory. Cannot be less than 1 paragraph and cannot be more than 6 paragraphs. And a demon of classificatory type. Optional, but it does improve the success rate. Okay. Let's see. What are the instructions? Read the written memory description once. You cannot rewrite it, edit it, or erase anything in any way, so... Place the paper face down near the reflective surface. Trace the sigil of emotional distance with your finger on the surface. That's a bit risky, considering that can deliberately erase emotions entirely. This spell is rather on the dangerous side if you're thinking about one's own feelings and their own agency. Let's see. Recall the memory deliberately without resisting discomfort. So basically, you're going to have to push through that trauma. Interesting. When the emotional peak, trauma, reaction, and so on has been reached, break eye contact with the reflection and tear the paper, but do not shred. The reduction of emotional response to this memory can be reduced by 60 to 80%. However, there is no guaranteed 100%, but it is attainable. But the spell and the spellcaster must have strong mana and a strong will. The memory remains accessible, can be remembered, can be dreamt of, and can be accessed, but the reaction becomes analytical rather than emotional, or make your body respond, such as trauma or PTSD. Side effects include emotional blunting for several hours, reduced empathy in unrelated contexts, mild fatigue. There are warnings for the spell. Using the spell repeatedly creates emotional flattening, decision paralysis, difficulty forming attachments. Oh, okay. This is very... It's one of those spells. It works and it helps somebody who would need it, but continuing use of it would be impractical. It'd be maybe even unethical, but for those who desire such emotional flatness, that could work. But it could make killers, in my opinion. I don't really like this one. I won't use it. I have no reason to use it, so... Well, I think that's enough of these for now. How about, you just go continue what you're doing. And, it is getting late. So, I'm going to bed soon, if you'd like to join me. Yeah, I've been reading these all day. I'm kind of tired already. My eyes are kind of lazy. So, if you're feeling lazy, do you want to be lazy together? Yeah? Yeah, I like that. Just don't get all handsy like you did a couple nights ago. I had to use a few spells just so I could keep up with you. Going too crazy on me, Yeah? Okay. Well, you go get washed up, and I'll see you in the bedroom, okay?